Okay. This is great.
Yeah, it looks good, right?
Really cute.
Oh, thank you. So, you look handsome.
Look at that. You were born to do this. Is this yours?
Yeah, that's mine.
A.
I did that in 2020.
It's so beautiful.
It was one of those, like, I want to just try something where I'm pouring different color, and see what happens. And literally an eyeball just showed up.
Was that early in your painting? Or was that
No, this was 2020.
Oh, 2020, you said?
Yeah.
I don't know why I heard 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, that's...
And then the eye just like popped up.
I love the eye.
And it just happened that way. It was really weird.
So beautiful.
And then it was like looking at me, and I was like, "This."
And did you start with the black? Like, did you have an idea that you wanted the black background?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly.
Because it's not like your other stuff.
No.
It's very bold.
Yeah.
It's not.
I had this like vision of like matte black and globs of color on top of it.
'Cause it's time for the maker, it's time for the maker, all the soul shakers, call the creator, it's time for the maker, it's time for the maker. We gotta motivate you, motivate, we gotta motivate.
Hi, welcome to Time for the Maker podcast. My name is Sarah Maria Agajanian. My stage name is Esme. I'd like to take you on a journey of exploration and participation of all forms of creativity. My hope and desire is to spark inspiration, awareness, and motivation to you, for you, to find your own creative world by either being the maker, the receiver, the fan, or all the above. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome to Time for the Maker. I'd like to introduce you to a dear friend of mine, singer-songwriter, Joseph Eid.
Hello.
Welcome to Patches.
What's
Welcome
up,
to
my
Time
friend?
for the Maker.
It's good to be here with you.
It's great to have you.
You look amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. So do you. We're very humble.
I took a
right?
shower.
Yeah, good.
I did the whole thing for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You're so kind.
I wanted to impress,
Yeah, well, here we are. We're
Yeah.
bringing on... You are a person in my life that is very grounded, very in tune with himself, extremely talented singer-songwriter, and you're also a fabulous friend of mine.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to start off by talking about how we met here in Hollywood when I was like 24,
So long ago.
23 years old, maybe?
I can't believe...
2008.
Wow. That was, like a year and a half after I moved here.
Yeah.
I met you. You were one of the first good friends, I made. And here we are. It's like unbelievable.
And we met at Crane's in Hollywood,
Yeah.
which is actually...
Right around the corner.
No, I think are we in the build?
Maybe.
We're on
I feel
Gower
like
right
when
now.
I came up to the studio, I'm like, wait a second, this is the area where we met.
Yes.
Like right in this block, right in this radius.
And Crane's was like this super musical open mic night, and that's where I met you.
Crane's was like one of the hot spots for music at the time. And I remember I was doing this open mic at the Stone Bar, which is now Harvard and Stone. And my friend Carl used to own it at the time. He was one of the first people I met in LA.
Oh, Carl.
Yeah,
Okay.
Carl.
Yeah,
You know Carl.
Yeah.
So he used to own that bar, and he gave me a night, and I was doing it with my friend Ryan Jones at the time. And then he was selling the bar, so we needed a place to go. And I hit up Crane's, and I'm like, hey, we'd love to move our open mic to there. And they said, fine, great.
Okay, you hosted, that was your night?
That was my night. So that was my night. And
I just realized that
I
now.
remember when you rolled
Stop
in, and I just had a sense. I'm like, I think we're going to be friends. And then you came back a few times. And I remember on the last night we did that mic, because that place was about to close eventually, we had like 200 people. It was insane.
Yeah.
It was like people were begging me to sign up.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was a pretty hot night, and it was a lot of fun.
And there was the Beachwood Rock. Do you remember the Beachwood Rocker Society?
Yeah, I do remember that. They did a night there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where like Lissy was born. I don't know if you remember her, but she was a folk singer in the later like 2000, like later 20s, like 2008, 2009.
So she broke out of that scene.
Yeah, but she broke out of that place. But I think it's funny that I'm just realizing that you were actually hosting it.
Yeah, I was hosting it. And I remember you coming in with a friend and your keyboard.
Yeah, huge.
And,
It's the first one of the first open mics I've ever
this
done.
This girl's got a voice. Like, it was beautiful. I met a lot of people doing that.
Yeah.
That's why I loved hosting nights like that because I met some awesome people, and some stuck and I've been friends with for a long time.
You're a fan of community.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
And you also hosted another night that was
Oh, yeah.
amazing that everybody played at in downtown. And this was like 2015,
This was
16?
like 16 into 17, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at a place called Bar Mattachine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd met the manager of the bar at a party, and I was like, hey, I want to go down and play. Played a night by myself and then kind of pitched in the idea. And I couldn't believe people would come to that because it was kind of in a little
sketchy
after a certain time.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd always ask people if they wanted me to walk them to their cars. But we had so much fun.
And it was upstairs.
Yeah. It was separated from the bar, which
Yeah.
I love on a music night.
Yeah.
Like the music room is by itself and then people go to the bar and grab a drink.
Yeah.
So it kind of it supports a listening room.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, because otherwise the bar is too loud and then you
Yeah.
can't hear the artists when they're singing.
I know. And that's one of my pet peeves about playing out. It's
Yeah.
like if it's not a room that is going to be, a place where people can really take in the music and be present, then I don't really want to play at those places. Unless
Yeah.
it's like a cover gig and it's just silly. But
Yeah, you want people to tune in and actually be a listening room.
I think there's a lot of new places that I haven't really been to.
Yeah.
I've kind of been more focused on recording and, playing a lot of private gigs
Yes.
since the
and
pandemic.
for those in the know, sometimes he hosts his own in his own place of living.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we'll
And
have-
you were at one of those.
Yes, during the lockdown, he hosted a backyard
Yeah.
performance with his friends, and it was so enlivening and uplifting, and we were all so happy to be there. And it was in the middle of lockdown in this beautiful backyard, and
It was so nice.
we were so lucky to be
And
there.
everyone hadn't, I feel like, played for a while.
Yeah.
So they really appreciated it. And I've been playing with the idea of wanting to do something at the house more regularly.
Yes.
So I'm thinking about that. But I love being able to kind of, have something to do with the vibe of the space.
Yes.
And, because I love hosting nights and stuff like that, it kind of makes sense that I would want to, curate it and really set the tone.
And I have to say, you curate very well. Everything runs really smoothly. Maybe it has to do with the fact that you're a Virgo.
Virgo to Virgo. I love that
It
you
might.
appreciate that.
It might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
You
maybe.
allow us other organized control people
Yeah.
to have a good time.
Yeah.
Because I know I can trust you. I know I can trust you in a space.
Yeah, I definitely detail oriented.
Yes.
And it's just,
But
it's
then
one
you-
of those things.
But you let people fly too.
Yeah.
Which is great about Joe, is that you bring people in and you set it up and you're like, all right, everybody,
Right.
let's see what you got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I like those nights. So anyway, looking forward to more of those. Let's share with where you're from originally.
Yeah.
You're from the East Coast, right? You're from
Yeah,
New York.
New York.
Yeah.
Grew up in New York. Parents are Lebanese.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up with Lebanese culture. I moved to LA in 2006.
Yeah. That's when I moved to LA.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have a hard time believing that it's been almost 20 years.
I know, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
We're
like-
kind of in a time warp here.
Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
have been really fast. More so now than they did. too.
Totally.
You know what I
totally.
mean?
And I heard that, I don't know if this is true, but I was reading an article or something that said that time is actually moving faster.
Yeah, I think I might have told you that.
I don't even know if that's possible, but something about the universe or whatever. But
We're spinning a second quicker.
yeah, we're also getting older, so
Yeah, that might have something to do
yeah.
with it. Well, us getting older? No. You're reversing backwards, I swear.
Oh yeah,
You know?
good lighting in this room. I love it.
Yes, great lighting. And speaking of light, which is
Yeah.
part of the intention of bringing you on here, is that Joseph just released a single called Light On.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll hear it. We'll play it. And there is something, and you're my friend, so of course I'm biased, blah, blah, blah. But in general, this song really spoke to me because I had a pretty gnarly year. I've had a gnarly couple years.
Yeah.
I'm not alone.
Yeah.
So have you. We've all been going through it collectively because since the pandemic and all this, I don't need to get into it. We know. And you released a song called Light On, and I was kind of like, I was bedridden for a minute there, and this song, you released it, and I remember you saying to me when I was in the ether, you said, I'll leave the light on for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it just struck me. And I just saw you as this big, I saw you literally like turning on this huge lantern, you know, like a lighthouse in the ocean, kind of.
Yeah.
And I was like, Joseph he's my lighthouse right now. He's one of those people in my life who has always been a lighthouse to me. So when this song came out, I was like, this is your essence. And it spoke to me, and that's why I wanted to have you on here. And
Wow.
the lyrics in it was, if you're missing home, make contact, and I will leave the light on if you come back. And then what's it go?
And I don't care how long, how far and dark you go, I'll leave the light on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you're missing home, make contact, and I will leave the light on if you come back. And I don't care how long, how far and dark you go, I leave the light on.
I know with our friendship, I know you were going through a really dark time, and it's so nice to see you. First of all, I have to say, like, doing this and doing your thing and just stepping into it, because this just makes so much sense, and it really like makes me so happy to see you, shining and doing it and having it be another thing, that you do, and I feel like it's got a lot of good energy around it. So I'm just so happy to be here. But yeah, there you go. But yeah, like that is kind of the idea of the song. I wrote it when I was going through a very dark time myself, as you know.
Yes.
We were losing my brother to, cancer, like a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm. My condolences.
Thank you. And it was like a time where I went dark because I had to just leave my life and stop doing anything to be there for him and be present. So I kind of detached. And while I was doing my best to leave the light on for him, my partner at home was doing it for me.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is the thing that we can do for each other, especially when there's nothing else we can do.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we have friends or family who are in a dark place, and everyone's on their own journey, right?
100.
So like sometimes there's nothing you can do. It's really frustrating because a person is in a space and you can't reach them.
Right.
You cannot reach them.
And you can't save them either.
Right.
Because they have to go through whatever they're experiencing in life. We can't really protect each other from the human condition, right?
Yeah. So I think that's the thing that we can do for each other, is just say, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be here.
And that's so important.
I don't care if you don't talk to me. I don't care if you don't call me back. I love you. I know your light. I know who you really are.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give up on you.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean that I actively have to like be pulling you out or going in there with you. But
Which you can't do.
Which you can't do. But you can be like, I'm able to shine a light right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to keep letting you know that when you're ready or when you have a good day, I'm here. Yeah. And I've always felt like that's the greatest gift we could give each other is that. And also, I think we've talked about this before, is how you see someone.
Yes.
Because when someone's in a dark space, you can go there and say, yes, it's never going to it's horrible. Or you can say, I see you healed.
Yes.
I know. I see the picture.
Yes.
I see it all. You're going to come out of this.
Yes.
You're going to come home.
You have not disappeared in this darkness or this void in your life or this suffering or this challenge or this grief or whatever it is that life is pulling out from underneath you. You have not disappeared. I still see you.
I still see you.
I see your life.
And if you're able to see them, they can see themselves that way.
Because you lose yourself in overwhelmingly challenging times.
Right. You forget who you are.
Yeah, you lose your identity.
We've all been there. You forget yourself. You forget, oh, wait, this isn't really me.
Yeah.
This isn't who I am. This is just a wave that I'm going through. And I think, like when you were able to see yourself out of it, to just at least have a picture, your subconscious mind starts to work on getting you out of it. But if you can't see that,
I know.
you're done.
Yeah.
You know, there's really no way out. So yeah, having someone you love or care for saying, I do see you making it out of this.
And
is
that's
important.
friendship. It's support. I like to see it as holding space for someone, even if that's all you can do. It's so important to just tell someone, I am here. The light is on.
Yeah.
You're still with me. You know,
Right.
it's so important, and
Right.
it's so lovely. So when you write, well, there's so much to cover here because I see music as medicine,
Mm-hmm.
right? So obviously you're a conscious mind, which
Mm-hmm.
is part of why I've been in contact with you all these years. Because I feel like whenever I sit down with you, there's so much that gets brought to the surface that's really beautiful and understanding. So when your relationship with music, with this thought of what is like your conscious mind or your relationship with music, like there's obviously medicinal energy in it.
Yeah.
Right? Like what is your process in it, and how do you view music in your life? Your relationship with music. That's what I'm trying to get to you. How do you see your relationship with music?
Totally. Like you said, I think there's different kinds of musicians, right? There's like, for me, when the songs come through, and I do say come through because that's what goes on.
I'm gonna just
Yeah. I mean, I'll set, obviously get into a space where I want to write something or get a feeling, get a nice progression going or something. But then I do feel like something starts to come through, and most of the time I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just singing stuff that doesn't really make sense at the time. And I know if there's artists out there listening, they get it too. And then I'll start playing it back or just start to write down the gibberish I'm saying, and then it kind of starts to make sense, or it leads me towards a feeling where I start to change the words around and make them fit. And almost always I write that way. Sometimes I go in with a concept, but I'll then just let it go and let it come through. And sometimes when I go back and listen to the songs, I learn from them.
Yes.
So that's kind of why I feel like there is like a co-creation going on, because a lot of the stuff, I'm like, I didn't think about that actively. Like that's something that I was open to, a concept, an idea that flowed through me, and it might be also things I've read in the past that now I've remixed in my head and, come out and put it in a way that's more accessible or whatever. But yeah, I like you, have always viewed music and songs like, like just gifts and insights that can help us just what's the word I'm looking for? Like I was walking in the park the other day and I heard an old song that just cracked me open.
Which one?
It was this old song by the Indigo Girls.
Okay.
Called Mystery. And the words came on and it took me back to a place, and literally my heart just cracked open and I started bawling. And it was the most beautiful walk because I just was taken back. I felt so much connection with life, with the trees. I started calling old friends. I started texting people. There was like this love that came through. And it's like, songs can do that for us. And that's what I mean. Like they're not just songs. They're our medicine.
They're medicinal. They're worlds. They're like home. They're memories.
Yes.
And it's such a beautiful, music it can be so transcendent, and it can help you evolve or take you to a place outside of maybe a denser space you're in, or just remind you of how magical music is and how each artist puts out a different like reality kind of for us to experience that we wouldn't maybe be able to experience unless we listened to music.
And it's like the artists have been through something, right? Yeah. So they wrote it from a very heart-opening place. So then we are connecting with that energy. Yeah. So it's kind of like, it's a high vibration,
It's, thank God for it. That's all I got to say.
Seriously, I don't know. I honestly, it has saved me so many times. It's just the thing. Yeah. If I didn't have that to cope, I might be,
I don't know if
just doing some other things to cope that probably are not healthy.
Right. Exactly. We can't
Yeah.
judge those that might, because this is
It's a gift.
Yeah, it is a gift, and we have to share it. And so in that, like, you're making music, recording it, you're releasing videos, you're doing you're doing podcasts, you're doing
Yes, the
big
best
time for the maker,
podcast.
everybody. You're talking about your creative process with like Ted Wolfers, who's a producer that we
yeah.
love, and he's outside of LA
he's
now.
awesome, yeah.
The guy's talented. He's
I
a big, warm
love
human
working
being.
with him.
Yeah.
He's just
All music.
talented, obviously, like super talented guy, and just really, when you have like just a synergy with someone. Like I'll go in and I'll just kind of tell him where I'm at or what I want to do, and the guy's so talented that he just, like can take your vision and start to just, build a track, and we just start. We get to work right away, and it's just so much fun. Yeah, he's excellent co-producer. So I'm blessed that I have found some people that I love working with.
I wanted to talk to you about how things have changed musically.
Yeah.
And I mean, since that device that we all have shoved in our pocket, everything has changed, right? What is something you would, if like I asked my last guest this similar question, like, is there a dream, or like if you had a superpower to change the trajectory of music, and you're like at folk music and you're an independent musician, what would you like to see change? If you could make anything change in the independent music world for you and for others aligned with you, what would that be? Just present and for the future. If we could carve that out, if you could do it.
Such a good question. Oh, and there's so much. Oh my
There's a
God.
lot. Well, you can name two things. You can name two.
I know some people will get mad at this, but I don't care. I would just kind of like wish that AI wasn't kind of happening.
Yeah.
Just as far as creating goes. I mean, like, it's super helpful with visual
tool.
arts, and it really is a good tool. And I'm not trying to be that guy sounding like an old guy who's going like, but there's something, like I was hosting at Cool X last night.
Cool X Woodshed is a singer-songwriter night in the Valley that's really authentic and
Such a
amazing.
great
And
night.
they film you, and Joe hosts it, and it's on a grand piano, and I freaking love the place.
Yeah, it's such a great place. It's
Yeah.
on Monday nights, and
Authentic.
I've been helping out, volunteering with hosting, and it's been so much fun. But like in the middle of the night, I just kind of looked at everyone and I said, "You guys, they're gonna look back on us and say, wow, these humans wrote their own songs." All
Without
by
us.
themselves.
Without us.
Without,
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like, hey, to each his own, right? But I love getting together with another songwriter and saying, hey, let's see what comes through. Let's not ask for prompts and, ask for ideas. Like, it's me and you.
Yeah, we don't need that.
We don't need that.
That's what higher source is.
And
It's
we're
within
two
us.
human
It's
beings
around us.
with a world and a universe of experience and emotions. And so for me, it just makes me a little nervous because like someone recently was like, oh, Joseph, the industry's changed so much. It doesn't even matter if your songs are good anymore. It's all about you and your branding, and people want to come see you and they want to know about your life. And I'm like, yeah, not into that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine sharing things, but no, it is about the song, because songs have changed my life.
Yes.
And I hope my songs, touch people in that way. And I don't want to give that away.
Yeah. You don't want to give that power away to artificial intelligence. And may we just use it as a tool, and may it not replace the spirit of music.
Yes.
May it not replace the spirit of music. It won't replace the spirit of music.
That's all.
Screaming in the,
Yeah.
we're good. That
That's
happened.
all. Yeah.
Very light, very light.
Uh-huh.
This is a question just for our listeners, creative people. It's always interesting to find out like what someone's rituals are to stay self-motivated, because you do this full time. Just share with us some key rituals that you do that you think impact the way you bring music through your life as a maker.
Yeah. I think like what you were saying earlier, and I do appreciate the compliment of like you saying that you see me as someone who's conscious and all this stuff. But I will tell you that I have really dark days too.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't have my rituals, I wouldn't be able to do it. So it is important, and I really appreciate that question. I journal every single morning. So I wake up after I brush my teeth and pour my coffee. I sit down and I get everything out that's on my mind, because these days, we all wake up with a lot of stuff.
Yes.
So I kind of clear it out, get it out. And then I try to do some kind of version of a to-do list, some kind of intention for the day. The day might take me totally different directions, but it gives me structure, which I very much need. And then at the end of the day, I like to think back on my day and think, okay, what could I have done differently? What would I have done differently? And, just being reflective, and that keeps me kind of in the present moment and aware, instead of slipping into just something that I'm being carried away by the news and by this. And then all of a sudden I'm down this, rabbit hole and I can't get out.
Yeah.
So I think just having those things, and I do try to, if I'm not exercising, at least take a very long walk so that I'm doing something physical. But other than that, honestly, just everything in moderation is my ritual.
Nice.
Nothing
Extreme.
excessive. Yeah, or extreme.
Nothing extreme. It's the opposite of me. No, I'm just kidding.
Wild
This is why
girl.
I hang out with him.
Wild girl. This is why, because I keep you down, grounded.
You do. I told you. You're not just a lighthouse, but you're also a tree. And you even said to me, you need more trees in your life, Sarah.
You do.
Yes, I absolutely adore you. I love you so much.
I love
you're
you
part
too.
of the creation of this. Is you're part of it, and the fabulous people in my life who keep me connected to creative source. And I would like for you to share everybody where we can find your music and follow you on socials, so they may tap into your conscious mind and your uplifting, beautiful energy.
Thank you. Yeah. Instagram is the thing that I probably use most as far as social media, and it's at Joseph Eid Music. EID is the last name, and music. So Joseph Eid Music. And it's actually the handle for everything: YouTube. My website is josepheidmusic.com, and bands in town, all of that stuff. So.
And you're on Spotify
And I'm on
Apple
Spotify
Music.
and Apple Music, yeah.
And you can find Light On, which you're going to listen to. We're going to have him play, and we're also going to play a little snippet of the recording too, which is very lucky for us. And it's our first guest. We'll be doing recording in-house, which I'm so excited about, because I have a vision of the future that we'll be jamming in here. But that's just...
Yes, I want you singing with me.
It's going to happen.
You have an amazing voice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming down and sharing with us.
Thank you for having me.
Is there any last words?
No,
for
I'm
people?
just like, just for anybody out there, just, it can feel really, like our theme, I guess, it can feel really dark sometimes. And I think the most important thing is just hang in there.
Yes.
Because it never lasts. It always changes. And the trick is just to have good people around you.
Amen.
That can get you through it. Because on the other side, it's just
So
more
much
growth
better.
and just so much better. So if you're struggling out there, just hang in, and we see you. We see you out of it.
Amen. We see you out of it and through all of life's challenges. May we keep going forward. It's time
Light
for
is
the
on.
maker.
This light is on,
Light is
baby.
on.
This light is on.
Thanks for coming, Joe.
Thank you.
I hope that was inspiring for you as it was for me. And I want to parlay off of that while we're in here speaking about life. I dressed up as Frida recently because we're in the middle of Halloween week. And she's one of my favorites, Frida Kahlo. And she has this quote that says, "Don't build a wall around your suffering. It may devour you from the inside." And the thought of being open when you're in your suffering is important to let the light in, like the song. But also this relationship that we have with art and music and creation and writing and dancing and movement. Art, I always feel that there's this misconception that we should suffer for our creativity. I don't know if I 100% believe that. That I used to suffer for my creativity. But I have since tuned into my life and realized that it wasn't my creativity that was causing suffering, my art, my music, it was my path. It wasn't the right aligned relationship I had with my life, which was causing me suffering. So now I like to say that art is the medicine to my suffering. It is the creation that pulls me through my suffering. It's the light on that keeps me going. And if you're suffering for your creativity, I would like to share that it might be good to step away from it and see it from a different point of view. And it's always good to have another creative outlet, to have a break from the one creative outlet that might be causing you some suffering, because it is medicine. To be creative is medicine. And in a time that we are in with challenges and density and wars, and there's so much going on, the creative aspect of your life should support you and hold you and pull you through challenging waters. Just like Joseph said, I'm going to leave the light on. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Can't wait for you to come back.
I'm sorry that you're drifting away. I've lost you to the sea. The light is getting dimmer as you sail away from me. The stories that you got on replay, they pull you to your past, and they crash down like tidal waves, and they don't let your good times last. But if you're missing home, make contact, and I will leave the light on. If you come back, and I don't care how long, how far and dark you go, I leave the light on. Leave the light on. I scan my memory like a map. I'm trying to retrace when you stopped reaching back and things that made you change. I know you tried so hard to pretend that there was nothing wrong. I can't believe I believed you then, and I can't believe you're gone. If you're missing home, make contact, and I will leave the light on. If you come back, and I don't care how long, how far and dark you go, I leave the light on. Leave the light on. I'll leave the light on. Light on. Come on. Yeah. Leave the light on. Leave the light on. Leave the light on. Leave the light on.
Leave the light on. Leave the light on.
I'll leave the light on.
I'll leave the light on. I'll leave the light on. I'll leave the light on. I'll leave the light on.
Thanks, Joe.
All right.
Fun.
That was fun.
Okay.